Good evening to all of you. And after a couple of weeks, we are back with the SE Securities weekly market presentation. So we have a kind of a small change to our presentation outline. As usual, I will be discussing the market updates, economic highlights, and the updates from global commodity market front and financial markets as well. But the technical analysis part will be carried out by our technical analyst Saliya from today onwards. So let me begin with the stock market updates for this week. Actually, market gained a good positive momentum, starting giving a strong beginning for this week by both the indices gaining up. So the week prior, Sri Lanka appointed a new prime minister, and together with that, the government made the decision to appoint a new cabinet of ministers. So investors were expecting kind of a political stability to be taken place in Sri Lanka. So with that positive momentum, the investors act accordingly to report this gain during Monday's trading session. So SPI gained 208 points to close at 8,474.49 by the end of the day, whereas S&P SL20 index also gained 221 points to close at 2,844.97. Turnover picked up to report a level of 2.7 billion, whereas foreign purchases were slightly lowered from the foreign sales amount reported. So, foreign sales was reported a full worth of 69 million, whereas only 43 million worth of foreign purchases were reported. So, for last couple of months, we have seen that foreigners kept on collecting from Colombo Stock Exchange, but now the country is being officially declared as default in terms of repaying the bond payments. So with that thing, the foreigners kept on taking back their investments from Sri Lanka. Then this positive momentum was changed back to negativity from Tuesday onwards. For the rest of the four trading days, the market experienced price declines. This was majorly followed by the price increase by Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, and together with that, LIOC too increased their prices to match the gap. And a result of that, market turned back to negativity. And apart from this, the election of prime minister as the finance minister and the possible expectation for a fiscal consolidation, whereas major tax revisions could have been witnessed by the upcoming interim budget, made the investors worried regarding the future of their investments. So market went back to red territory from Tuesday onwards. So during Tuesday's trading session, the liquid shares, Expo Mills, and also LOLC dragged down the index. So during Tuesday's trading session, the turnover stood at 2.3 billion level, whereas ASPI index lost 81 points to close at 8,393.47, and S&P SL20 index also declined by 28 points to close at 2,816.45. However, foreign purchases picked up to 49 million level over 27 million foreign sales. And during the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday trading sessions as well, market further declined, and the turnover levels, if you can see in this chart, further declined to 1.5 billion to report by the end of the week. So during Friday's trading session, marking the close for this week's trading, SPI closed at 8,315.5, and S&P SL20 index closed for the week at 2,444.54. So all in all, throughout the week, SPI lost 1.88% from its previous week's closing, and S&P SL20 index lost or declined by 3 over 3 during the week, and net foreign outflow was reported, which stood at a value of 104 million. So, looking at the treasury yields, all the treasury yields for three major counters for 3 month, 6 month, and 12 month yields have declined. So the 3 month yield declined to 23.65%, and 6 month yield declined to 24.22%, which is a 47 basis point decline compared to previous week's yield. And the 12 month yields also declined to 24.3% over 24.5 from the previous week. And looking at the exchange rates, the rupee was slightly appreciated over US dollar for this week, but if you look at the rest of the three currencies we are considering, rupee continued to depreciate over these three. And let me give you some economic related updates. So, as I mentioned previously, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation made a decision to increase the fuel prices by to report a value of over 400 per liter in all forms of fuel, and as together with that, LIOC too increased their prices. So, with that, the government made a decision to introduce a pricing formula for fuel. We have seen for the last week, the people were gathered in lengthy queues to get fuel for their vehicles. And this particular pricing formula is scheduled to made a price revisions once in 2 weeks, or maybe once in a month. We could have experienced a kind of a change in every month, or maybe in once in 2 months. And further, apart from this, government has allowed the private bunker fuel operators to import fuel, especially for the industries, as there was a major burden on Ceylon Petroleum Corporation to import fuel from foreign countries, owing to the forex shortage that they are experiencing right now. In order to reduce the burden, they have given the chance for the private sector to directly import fuel required for the industries. Apart from that, SL government is in talks with to have another swap arrangement with India, and we have seen some kind of a headline that Sri Lanka is expecting to exceed, have talks in terms of exceeding the full credit line that has been offered by the India. And the International Monetary Fund's technical meetings with Sri Lanka is now concluded, and they are heading towards finalizing the final economic support program. And recently, IMF chief said Sri Lanka was once a great nation, and mismanagement took the country to the crisis that we are facing right now. It said a lot of the foreign institutions are willing to provide financial assistance to Sri Lanka, like Asian Development Bank and World Bank itself. But recently, World Bank declared for us to give the financial assistance, specific policy framework should have been presented. So they are wishing to have structural reforms to be established in Sri Lanka prior to granting such financial assistance. And we have seen the official statistic of inflation based on National Consumer Price Index for the month of April to stood at 33.8%, but as of majority, the actual rate is said to be somewhat higher than this particular level. And with the existing fuel crises and power cuts within the country, it said that majority of the foreign buyers with regards to apparel sector are now shifting their orders from Sri Lanka to other countries. But Joint Apparel Association Forum recently affirmed the resilience of the industry and claimed that the industry is its way toward achieve the target of 6 billion earnings for the year 2022. Their March quarter earnings also picked up by 10.8% to report a value of 1.5 billion US dollars over 1.3 billion from the corresponding period in 2021. Then let me take you through the global commodity market update and financial market updates as well. So oil prices picked up during the week owing to the demand from US and also the owing to supply side restrictions from Russia because of the ban imposed. And gold prices also increased during the week due to the weakened dollar and also the Federal Reserve's decision to stop or to ease the aggressive policy rates hike by the very end of this year. So that was given some kind of a relief to the investors in both commodity markets and also with the financial markets. And copper prices and aluminum prices, however, declined owing to production cuts due to soaring energy prices. And when it comes to financial markets, majority of the financial markets picked up during the week, especially during Friday's trading session, owing to strong earnings from the technology-related stocks and also the Federal Reserve's decision to stop aggressive policy rates hike by the very end of this. So from here onwards, presentation will be continued by Saliya. Over to you.
Thank you, Sachini. Good evening, all. Let me start the day with covering the OSHA index first. As we know, the index closed at 8315.55 today, and it's trading within the daily support between 8154 and 8749. Incidentally, the index is trading above the 20-day moving average, which is short-term bullish, and it's a trend confirmation in the short term. However, the moving averages of 50, 100 and 200 have to be tested. As a result of that, it's only a short-term bullish sign that we can see right now in the ASI. At the same time, if you can see that the RSI is still in the neutral area, trying to test or cross above the 50 point mark, which is the halfway mark on the RSI. They may see the MACD line, which is the black line, has crossed over the signal line, but still with below the center line. For the momentum and the trend to continue, it will be very important that the MACD, the black line, is crossing above the center line. We need to watch that. As far as the present market is concerned, we can see that it's trying to find that consolidation at the present resistance area, even though I have given that as a daily support area. The reason is after hitting a short-term high of 8749, it is trying to test that area between 8154 and 8749. So basically, it's trying to stay above 8150, and let's see how it goes in the short term. And let's hope that it will continue to the upside. That's about the ASI, and we are moving on to the LIOC, which is the present chart, or rather the chart of the day. LIOC is in an interesting trend right now. It had a short-term high of I think 66.80. That was 3 days ago on Wednesday, and thereafter we can see that it is now retesting the previous high, which was here. The previous within the last 5 days, the previous high was 61.10, and it's trying to find resistance or rather support there, trying to test that level, which was the previous resistance, now turns support, and it will ideally it should ideally trade above 58.50, which is the upper point or upper level of this daily support zone. If we fail, or if we see that there's a failure in the price trying to stay above 58.50, it could find support between 54 and 58.50. Incidentally, we know that in January 21, or rather January 22, we saw the all-time high for LIOC testing at 78.70. So at any given moment, if there is going to be a reversal once again to the upside, the daily resistance zone between 64 and 68.90 will be tested. Thereafter, a breakout will take place to test. Before going to this area, it will try and test resistance between 68.90, that is the upper level of the zone, and the lower level of the above zone, which is at 78.70. That's another range of resistance. If we see the all-time high, the Jan 22 all-time high is taken out, 78.70, then we will see the index, the LIOC trying to test the range between 78.70 and 86.90 before trying to move into this area. As a result of the price is trying to search for or it's on its way to test the present all-time high and break out and move to a new all-time high, you need a lot of confidence amongst the traders or amongst the accumulators based on the belief of the strength of the counter moving forward. That is the fundamental belief of the players, the investors and the traders will determine the direction of LIOC, whether it's going to go above 78.70 and test for new all-time high levels. Then the commodity for the day, or rather for the week, is the US crude. Sorry, as you can see, it's trying to take, it's resisting between 110 and 115, which is a resistance level, as we could see, coming from February. Thereafter, it has tested a new high. That was in March. Then again, there was a throwback, a retracement. And then we can see that it has once again tested this resistance range between 110 and 115.40. So it's trying to test that area again. If you break 115.40, then obviously between 115.40 and 119 is the area where resistance will be seen, and thereafter it could move higher. Any breakout below 110 could come down to test 106.20, between 110 and 106.20. Incidentally, we can see that all the moving averages that I have covered here, 20, the 50, 100 and the 200, which are the short to medium to long term moving averages. We can see that the prices are trend at the moment have crossed above these moving averages, giving us an indication of a moderate to a strong uptrend in the crude, in the US crude. As far as the momentum is concerned, you can see the RSI is in the neutral area, but above the halfway mark, which is the 50 points. Then the MACD is trending sideways, brushing off the signal line, showing that, or rather implying the range bound trend that we can see in the US crude. And with that, I'll wrap up for that's all for the week. Let's meet up once again next week. Thank you. Have a pleasant weekend.
So that's all for this week's weekly market presentation. Hope you all get a good insight regarding the facts we elaborated, and hope to see you again in the next week. And if you like the video, like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel to get new updates. And we'll see you in the next week. Until such time, have a great time. Thank you.